Are you excited for the story of Aetherdrift? I am super stoked and excited. They just released part one, and every single day I'm going to do my best as the stories come out to make a part for it. We'll go through all the way through the story as best as possible. Sometimes we may have to make shorter, longer videos, whatever, depending on how much the story is. We're going to try to do the main story. There might be some side stuff we'll cover at some point, but main story came out, part one, and it starts with Phyrexian invasion. We're back in the Phyrexian invasion, and I'm going to try to say the name, Ishikari, I think is the right name. Ishikari is running up and getting into her laboratory, and there's something there. Who knows what it doesn't exactly say what it is. Basically, though, what basically comes of it is she's got this idea, this thing that she's working on, and she activates it, hoping that it's going to save whatever's going on. And at the very end, all you know is she's assuming she is going to end up dying in this and move on to what is it called? I can't remember what they called it, the Blinding Eternities or whatever. And she turns it on, and then she sees what's going to happen. She sees the Blinding Eternity, so I'm assuming it lets you know that she's passed away because of this, or she's taken her life to save whatever. But it doesn't say what the machine was, what it does, anything like that. That's kind of where the story stops. But we do find out a little bit later, and I'll kind of come back to this. A little bit later, you do find that the Aether Spark was found there. The Aether Spark, which is trapped inside of a thing, is the spark of a planeswalker. We don't know what's planeswalker, who, which, what, but maybe that was something she was using for it. Who knows? Hopefully the story will tell us. But that's the first part of the story. We're not sure what this machine is. This is something that was like a time machine. This is something that's actually saved people, and she changed something. Who knows? We don't know. The story just kind of stops there where she turns it on, and that it doesn't say what the machine is, what it does, whatnot. But then we jump ahead 2 years, and when we jump ahead, I like this part where all of a sudden just going and meeting the Spitfire. The Spitfire is running into her father's estate because her father disapproves of racing and things like this, and is running in there, and she's hiding all of her stuff. She's got to be Sita. That is, I'm hoping, again, saying these names as best as possible as I can pronounce them and think that they're pronounced right. Sita. She comes in there and meets her dad, and her dad is just kind of frustrated with her, and like, her dad is like this guy who's stuck in the past. He hates the new name of Avishkar. He hates the name that has changed from Kaladesh. Things are changing. There's new people here and there, and all this different stuff is going on. And that's kind of the gist here. He's venting and talking and frustrating that he's stuck in this past mindset. Whereas his daughter is wanting to change things and try new inventions, and is secretly a racer because her father would not approve of that at all. And then in the midst of it, there's talking about the race and talking about people coming in and looking at the Aether Spark, which then gets mentioned where it was found in Ishikari's lab after the Phyrexian invasion. And then basically he's mad because it talks about Gonti for a second, and he's mad about Gonti. He's like, he shouldn't be there. I just picture him as this grumpy old man who's just, I'm setting my ways and it's not going to be. And that's kind of the story there. And then basically, that's a big chunk of the story, is them going back and forth about just how things changed and what went on and all this different stuff. And basically then it goes down to where she needs to leave. Sita wants to leave and goes away. And he's kind of like, hey, wait a second. You smell like aether fumes. And apparently the night before, she was out racing, testing a vehicle, and I think she had crashed it or something along the lines of that is what it seems like. If I remember correctly at the very beginning, I apologize if I missed all the story. There's a lot to consume. And he's like, you smell like aether sparks. Did you leave the window open? She's like, yeah, sorry, I left the window open. I need fresh air, all this stuff. Trying to hide the fact that she is actually a legit racer. And then it jumps, after that, it jumps to, he sits there and talks, and then we go to the Aether Rangers. So this is the Avishkari race team, the Aether Rangers. She's there. She's going there. Spitfire goes to Roz, and she sees on the screens Shanja is on the TV screens, but in the playing it's Pia Nalar. So Shanja's mom is in there working and stuff like that, and her mechanic is there and everything, and talking about the vehicle and adjusting different stuff like that, and they're trying to make it better. And I'm assuming the Lifecraft engine is the vehicle they're working on because that's what got spoiled, the card. So I'm assuming her Spitfire's vehicle might be the Lifecraft engine. I'm not 100% sure on that. It didn't 100% specify, but basically talking about working on the vehicle and all of this stuff. which is really cool. And they're talking there. Pia Millar's in there, and Spitfire. She comes in as Spitfire. She's not Sita anymore. She's Spitfire. And when she's Spitfire, she's got to act a certain way that Sita would not act this way and that way. She's got to be, you know, more like da-da-da-da and set, and like, I'm a racer and got to get my car fixed and all of this stuff. And all this stuff. And then it's a little bit of Pia Millar. And then we jump into Chandra and go over to Chandra, and basically Chandra's being interviewed by the press and like, oh, well, you got this and that. And she's at a tea shop getting tea. They're asking her a bunch of different questions and stuff like that. And then, you know, one of the questions that gets towards the end, one of the last questions, is basically, we're basically told that you're racing for your paramour, Nissa. I don't think they say Nissa, but it's Nissa. And it goes to this whole dialect that she wants to win the Aether Spark, but she can't let this be known. They want to win the Aether Spark for Nissa, to make Nissa happy. They can then planeswalk and go wherever they want because, you know, a lot of people lost their spark, so they're without their spark. I believe Chandra still has her spark because she's still planeswalker and stuff, but Nissa lost her spark. And that's part of the thing. And so she's trying to win this Aether Spark for Nissa specifically, kind of gets on them, and she's asked about a bunch of these questions. And the big question is so you're not on your mother's team, the Aether Rangers, Pia Millar's team, Aether Rangers. She's gone with a different team. And I forget the name of it. Cloud Spy Racing, I believe, is the name of the team that she goes to. And so there's her interviewing. And then at the very end, Winter. Yeah, that's right, Winter. The Speed Demon team, the leader of the Speed Demons, and he's there and he's mad, and he says, basically, he starts out with he hates her, but he's like, no, I don't hate her. I've got to study her. I've got to find more out about her. He's mad about, you know, who she is and trying to figure out how she races, what she does, so he can figure it out, because he's got to win this race, because he just remembers. He knows that he's got to win. He's got to win this. He's got these demons and the Speed Demon and all this stuff coming with him. He's got racers. They're going into this race, but he's got to win the race, because the stakes is bring us the Aether Spark, and he's free. He gets out of Duskmourn. He gets out of the house. But if he fails, he belongs to the house. And so that sets up his high stakes and what he's racing for. And so hopefully we'll find out more about the story. I'm not doing the side story. There was a side story about Almond Cat and some stuff going on there. I might do a little separate video of that at some point. This is kind of the main story, introducing us to some of the racers, and then we'll get into the race at some point. Who knows? We've got several days of story. I don't know how many stories there are, how many days of story there are, but I'm excited about it, excited to get that next story, next bit, and find out, okay, some more about the racers, and then how the race is going to go. I'm really excited for the race to start. I really wish we could get this as like a animated series. It'd be a lot of fun, but I hope you enjoy this so far, breaking down the story as best I can and everything. Want to bring that to you, you know, and have fun with it, do as best as possible. But I appreciate it, and appreciate this opportunity to be an MTG ambassador. Even if I wasn't an ambassador, I would be bringing this stuff to you because I'm excited about Aetherdrift, but I have a bigger honor and privilege of bringing more stuff to you in this story and excitement for you. And as cards come out and as stuff come out, I will do my best to bring those to you. And I'm excited for it, excited for Aetherdrift. Let us know in the comments below which team, if you got it all the way through this, which team are you cheering for? There's 10 teams. Which team are you cheering for and want to win the Aether Spark? Listen to the comments below. As always, thank you so much for being here. As always, we'll see you next time.